Hey good friends, welcome new subscribers. I'm Brian from Apex Detail. Today we'll take a close look at Meguiar's D300 or DA microfiber correction compound. Now to the credit to whoever formulated the product, it not only works well with their microfibers, which they want you to team it up with their microfibers and spin. It works well with microfibers, foam pads, dual action polishers, rotary polishers, electric, pneumatic. It is a great product. Now I can't get myself to use the M100, 105, 205 when there are so many other good compounds out there that don't dust, have nice long working open times. When it comes to the ultimate polish and ultimate compound, big thumbs up. I recommend that to the beginner. When it comes to this product here, the D300, I think it's absolutely their best product. A long working time or open time, and I will demonstrate that. It has the ability to cut if you team it up with the right pad, and the ability to finish down, which I'm also going to show you if you team it up with the right pad. I absolutely love it, and that's enough yapping. Let's get out into the shop and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I have a panel set up. We're going to show its cutting power and its finishing power. Meguiar's DA microfiber correction compound, that utilizes the super micro abrasive technology. So you'll be able to cut some moderate imperfections out, but you'll be able to finish down pretty far. So this makes it excellent for a one-step compound. We're going to test its cut and its finish, and we're going to start with its cut. So as usual, I'm going to divide a panel into 5 different sections. We'll start with 2500 grit, and we'll work our way all the way down to 800 grit. And we'll see how far the D300 will travel through and correct the different sections. We'll see how far it gets. As we've seen in some of the past testing, we can get as far as 1500, 1000 grit. When you get into the 800, that's for a totally different compound. Not many compounds are designed to move imperfections like that, but it's fun to see how this will attack that section. 16 ounces of the D300 is going to run you $16, depending on where you look for it. So if this performs well in our testing here, this is going to be something to grab that just does a great job and will not dig into your profit margin. Good enough. I'll clean off the residue. I'm going to get rid of the masking tape and we will begin. Again, they suggest you use it with their microfibers, but not necessary. It works well with a foam pad. Pick out the right pad and you'll get the results you're looking for. Give the product a good shake. Get those super micro abrasives evenly distributed throughout the formula. We're going to apply 3 pea-sized drops onto just a standard orange foam cutting pad. This is attached to the Flex XFE 83-inch polisher. And just like the other testing videos we've done for the cutting compound, we're going to run this through it, see how far this gets. Alright, good enough. We're going to shut down the machine. Give me just a second or two to put the polisher to the side, grab you guys and bring in close. You're going to notice right off the residue is clear, it's light, it is very easy, user-friendly to remove and to deal with, and absolutely no dusting. You'll only get some very fine dusting if it's really hot and dry conditions in your area, in your environment, and that'll make the product flash a little bit quicker if you're trying to go for some extra long open or working time. All right, as you can see, it is absolutely just blazed through the first few sections, including the 1500. And as we get down to the 1000 grit section, this is where a lot of them start to fail. And it's done a wonderful job. But I do have to remind you, with the lubrication that this product has, it's unintentional, but it acts like a filler. You will need a body prep or a body solvent to wipe off that residue so you can see where you're at. That's exactly what we're going to do here before we check it out any further. I have a body prep here, and we're going to get rid of that oily lubrication, the residue, and come in for a second look. With all of that out of the way, I think you're still going to be impressed with the work that it's done cutting, just with a standard foam pad. So this is impressive. We're going to go and check out its open time or its cycle time next in the next segment as we test on the last two sections here, the 800 grit and the 1000 grit section. We'll work on them a little bit longer. I'll do a crisscross pattern. I'll move even slower. We'll get the temperatures spiking in that little area, and we'll see if it flashes quicker. We'll see if we get any dusting, and we'll also see if we can get more improvement in those last two sections. Okay, I think that's going to do it. Let me get the polisher down. We're going to grab the prep and we're going to clean the area once again before we come in for a closer look. Remove that lubrication, that oily lubrication they use to cut down on the dusting, and keep the cycle time open a little bit longer, which is great. I have no problem cleaning away a little bit of the residue if I don't have to deal with dust down the cracks in between fenders and doors and all that. So as you can see here, again, impressive, just not the cutting powers that some of our top compounds had when we tested in these last two sections, but definitely something you can recommend when you team it up with the right pad to remove moderate imperfections. Now, we do have one more segment left over. We're going to test its finish, but I'm going to get the right angle using the overhead light here so you can see how far it finishes down with just a standard foam cutting pad. Not bad. The D300 can do some light duty work as well, so we're going to test its finishing ability. I have a little section here masked off, and I grabbed a 5000 grit disc, and I'm going to just very lightly scuff the area. I'm going to attach a polishing pad. We're going to come in with a dual action, remove the light scuffing, and see just how far down it finishes. Before we get started, just let me get an angle so you can see the light scuffing we have. Then I'll reset the camera. I'm going to use a torque. This is just something I use for waxes or sealants or some fine polishing or jeweling. I have a polishing pad attached to it. A couple drops of the product and we'll see what it can do. Good enough. Let me put the polisher down, grab a microfiber, and clean up the residue. Again, very thin, a little bit oily, no dusting whatsoever. You could have done a few more passes, easy, and it doesn't look too bad so far. Let me get the rest of the residue, grab the camera, bring you in, get you some angles using the light. Once again, we want to remember to use a panel prep or body solvent. You don't want anything sneaking up on you 2 or 3 weeks down the road. You want to see exactly where you are, so clean off the residue. And here you go. I'll use both the shop light and the light above us here, and the results speak for themselves. And in my opinion, Meguiar's hit a home run with this product here. Absolutely great, great to work with, and excellent results. Guys, if you put everything into consideration, including its price, this is a product that can be recommended for anyone to pick up. The beginner all the way up to the seasoned veteran. If you do major corrections and someone comes in, they just don't have the budget for 2, 3, or 4 step, and you just have the budget to go around the car one time and just put a wax on there, that's the product to pick out, and it won't dig into your profit margin. If you're someone just beginning, it's a product you can use for just about anything. You're graduating from just simple cleanings to paint enhancements. Grab this. You don't even have to grab the ultimate polish and the ultimate compound. This is something that's all in one container for 16 bucks and will make you successful to get prepared for the next step. If you have any questions on the D300 at all, don't hesitate. Now, we did have it on the panel like we were doing some testing for the cutting compound series. That's not going to change. It just doesn't have the cutting power that some of these major players have here. It does have fillers, and you're going to have to use some sort of panel prep or body solvent to get that out of there, just to see where you are if you're doing a correction and you don't want some scratches or swirls sneaking back up on you somewhere down the road. But just an overall great product, and one of Meguiar's best, in my opinion, of course. Have a good day, guys. See you in the next video.